Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video here on the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing TaiModels Manchester, which came out just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now let me start with the fact that this scenery is just amazing. I know some of you want the conclusion sort of at the start, so do I recommend this scenery? Yes, absolutely. And I will be going more into depth as to why I recommend the scenery and why I think it's so good. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers now, so all your help is really appreciated. Now we know that TaiModels makes some brilliant scenery. I have his Heathrow and I also have his ENGM Oslo, both of which are great, and Manchester is absolutely no exception. Manchester is the third busiest airport in the UK by passenger number as of 2019 and is the busiest outside of London. Manchester Airport, RKO code EGCC, has 2 parallel runways which are both 3,048 meters or 10,000 feet. So we'll get into the installation of the airport. It's very simple. The file size is a little bit larger than normal, but that's because of the incredible details that this scenery has to offer. And it's simply you unzip it and you move the mesh file and the actual airport file into your custom scenery folder, and then just make sure that your mesh is below all your orthos and everything like that in your scenery.ini. Now additionally, this scenery does come with an ortho patch file, so you can generate your own ortho tiles and you don't have to miss out on the custom mesh provided by TaiModels, which is really nice. Additionally, plenty of documentation is given which details how to install the airport, and it does give you a link to the patch file. It doesn't tell you how to use the patch file, but don't worry, I am uploading a video on how to use Ortho4xp patch files literally just after this video, and I'll link that in the description. So talking about ortho, this airport actually comes with a substantial amount of ortho for the area. So this is all this ortho you're seeing now comes with the airport. I've removed all of my custom tiles. This is just default X-plane. I do have SimHeaven installed, but that won't affect the airport, and the rest is airport TaiModels. So you do get a substantial amount of ortho, as you can see here, which is really nice. A lot of payware sceneries only give you literally just the airport boundary, but this gives you some more of the surroundings. Obviously it's not a whole tile or anything like that. That'll just make the download size ridiculously big, but it's really nice how much ortho you get. Moving on to the runway textures, they are extremely nice. All custom textures. We've got some really nice tire marks here in the touchdown zone. We've got this nice sort of concrete on the outside with a little bit of 3D grass as well. The airport runways do look really nice. I love how there's all these patches filled in. As you can see here, it makes the runway look used. It makes it look like it's been repaired, which it obviously will have. I like how you have all these different concrete colors here, and it's all very accurate, confirmed with Google Maps as well. So this all looks pretty accurate. All the different concrete that's been used over the years to repair areas. It looks very good. Additionally, the texturing down here is just remarkable. I mean, look at all the oil spills here, and these are not the same textures. You know, these are all random, and they're all different. On every single stand you have pretty much a different texture, and that just, you know, that randomization is really nice. All the taxi lines have been drawn very nicely. All the correct markings that you would expect are there, and just, you know, look how nicely that's, you know, these lines are lined up. You can tell that Tai has taken a lot of time and put a lot of effort into really perfecting the details of this scenery. Now another notable feature is the use of 3D grass here, which is actually really nice. If we go down here, you can see just how good it can look in sort of like screenshots and stuff. If you're like that, it just looks very nice. Now obviously it's not incredibly dense, but that would just cause way too much performance impact on your PC, even if you have like a really high spec PC. So I think it's balanced really nicely between visual fidelity and performance, and that's really the story of all of TaiModels airports, or the ones that I've tried at least. They all look incredible, and yet somehow the performance remains really good. Right, moving on to some of the airport buildings. You can see here just how nicely the airport building has been modeled. There's various terminals, of course. But yeah, it just looks really nice. Look at the details on the roof as well. Modeled very nicely, textured very nicely. Obviously, these could be higher quality, but in my opinion, that doesn't matter because these are literally on the roof. No one's looking here realistically, but the fans are modeled, which is pretty nice as well. And from here, from this is realistically what you're going to see when you're flying. It looks really, really nice. One thing to note, which could be improved, are these stand signs. These could be higher quality in my opinion. They're kind of difficult to read, and this is consistent throughout the whole scenery. Now the interior of some terminals are modeled, which is really nice, and you just have enough details for it to look like there's an interior terminal. There is a lack of 3D people in some terminals, and there is 3D people in other terminals, so slight inconsistencies there, but either way it looks really, really nice. Looking at another terminal here, very nicely modeled inside and just enough detail to really make the scenery come to life. Additionally, all the surrounding sort of hangars and other airport buildings have been modeled very nicely. They all look pretty good. They've been placed accurately with accordance to the ortho. As you can see, looks very nice. There's some more over here. We'll go over here. There's some airports, hotels and stuff like that, which I want to check out later on in the video. One thing to note would be, if I go down here, this Thomas Cook hangar down here is no longer a Thomas Cook hangar since Thomas Cook collapsed a few years ago. That is now an STS hangar, so there's a inconsistency there, and I'm sure he's aware of this, and he is fixing it fairly soon, hopefully. But yes, that should be an STS hangar, not a Thomas Cook hangar. But the other stuff like the Jet 2 hangar looks really, really nice. Look at that. Some other features I really like around the scenery are stuff like the this Avro RJX here, and some of the other additional aircraft over here. So we got part of a Monarch. So it looks like a 777 or an A330 or something. The front end of that, and then we have some additional aircraft parked over here, which I'm told are a Nimrod and a Trident, I believe they were. So yeah, really nice details. It's really nice to taxi past here and see these aircraft. They are beautiful, beautiful aircraft as well. I do particularly like the older aircraft actually. Going back slightly to the mesh, we can see here why there's a custom mesh, as we have this tunnel going under both runways, which has actually been done really nicely. It's been meshed very nicely. We have a little tunnel opening here, and then here we have the rest of the tunnel, as you can see, and it comes out the other end just over here, leads onto this roundabout, which have been done very nicely, as you can see. And you can still achieve this using your own ortho, using the patch file, as I mentioned before. Now looking at the airport clutter, we can see we have some baggage carts here. They are actually Jet 2 baggage carts, and we have all sorts of stuff that you'd recognize, baggage loaders, air stairs. We should have some more over here. Yeah, pushback trucks, and all the clutter is sort of randomized. You don't have the same clutter. We've got some snow plows over here. We don't have the same clutter at every gate, which is really, really nice. We have some more various airport vehicles over here. Looks like a cargo sort of loader. But yeah, that's really nice. I love how the clutter's done in these airports. It looks randomized. It looks like the airport is alive. Now, you will notice that there is a slight lack of parked aircraft here. That's because I have turned off Traffic Global and turned off the parked aircrafts. In settings, if you turn it on, which I'll do in just a second, they will appear and they're all correct. So I have now enabled Traffic Global, and as you can see, all the parked aircraft have spawned in. You've got the Ryanairs, KLM, EasyJet, Jet 2, of course, and we've got some of the big boys over here, the Qatar 787. Looks like that's an A321, Jet 2. Is that an Etihad 787, I believe. Etihad 787, and some of the other heavies over here. So I've got the TUI 787, another Qatar 787. So yeah, all of that is really, really nice, but that's not included with the airport. You don't get any static with the airport, which is completely fine, because a lot of people like to fly on VATSIM and they don't want parked aircraft taking their stands. So you can toggle that on and off as you please, which is really, really nice. I have turned Traffic Global off now, just to save some FPS. and we don't have that, the aircraft noise. Additionally, it's worth mentioning that SAM is used for the scenery to get the jetways to work and the VDGS systems to work. I might have footage of that from one of my streams, so you can go check that out there. They do work brilliantly. I've never had any issues. You just need to make sure that you have SAM installed. Moving on to the night lighting here at Manchester, I think it's been done very nicely. All the taxiway lights are as you would expect. The stand lighting is really nice. It's actually not overly bright. I know a lot of custom scenery's lighting is overly bright. I think it's really nice. You can just about see everything you need to see over here. As you can see all the taxiway lighting. Got the runway lighting there. I have disabled visual XP, so this is pure stock default X-plane. Take a look at the approach lighting here. On the approach, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? There we are. Pappies, 2 white, 2 red. Very nice. The lighting is incredible, and flying through this airport or from this airport in the night will for sure be an immersive experience. Alright, back to daytime. Let's talk about the performance of this airport. If I bring up my FPS counter here on the left, you can see we're getting about 50 FPS. I do just have the default Cessna 172 loaded in and some minor plugins which shouldn't affect FPS much. Now, I actually get more FPS with this airport installed than I do without it. The default Manchester airport that comes with X-Plane 12 has been optimized very, very badly. I was getting maybe 20-25 FPS before. Now I can get a good 30 or 40 FPS. So performance is great, and if you can run the default Manchester airport, then you will have no problems. In fact, this runs better generally, and there's no stutters or anything like that. For me to report, obviously mileage does vary based on your system specifications, but for me, performance is really, really nice, and in fact an upgrade. Now, a couple of issues with the airport I want to go over. These are mostly minor, but back here with the ortho, there seems to be some weird black texturing over here. Looks like there's some ortho which hasn't properly been sort of placed or something. Now that is fixable when you use the ortho patch file that you have a link to in the documentation. That is fixed there, so you can fix it. It's not to worry. But if you just install the airport and leave it default, then you will have this issue. It's not too noticeable unless you sort of really go looking around the airport, but it's there and it is definitely an issue. Now, we did touch on this earlier, but the Thomas Cook hangar, down here should be an STS hangar. I mentioned it earlier. So that's another slight issue. And additionally, I've seen some add-on airports that come with some extra documentation, such as airport charts and airport briefs and maybe an overview of Manchester Airport. None of that is provided with the scenery, but you do get all the documentation you would expect as a minimum, such as things like the installation, how to use the options that come with the airport. If you're not using the mesh, you can choose to use a flattened version of the airport, which is really nice as well. So there's some options in the download as well. Some additional features I really like are the textures here saying I love Manchester, which is just on the taxiway here. Over here we have the big I love Manchester as well here into Terminal 3, which is also nicely modeled in here. Now, some extra buildings that are around is this. As you can see here, we have this Ibis Hotel. We have the Holiday Inn, as you can see here, and there's the is it the Radisson over here somewhere. But yeah, all of these hotels and stuff like that are fully modeled. Here's the is it? Yep, here's the Radisson. So all of these hotels have been really nicely modeled. The logos have been done nicely, and some of them do actually light up at night as well, which is really nice. And we do of course have this, I think this is a walkway or railway line or something like that. Alright, so in conclusion then, do I recommend Manchester Airport? I said at the start of the video, yes I do. Despite its few issues, which I know are getting fixed anyway, the airport is an incredibly high fidelity rendition of Manchester Airport. Performance is just brilliant. The quality, the textures, modeling, all of that good stuff is really nice, and it does for sure give you a really immersive experience if you want to fly in and out of Manchester Airport. And of course, you don't have forced traffic models of parked aircraft sat on the ground. I know this is a popular airport with VATSIM and IVAO and networks like that. So having the option to just turn off all the static aircraft, as I have done here, is really, really nice. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.